Now, with a moment we've been looking forward to sharing with you, Michael Jordan spent 15 seasons as an NBA megastar, leading the Chicago Bulls to 6 titles. He's a multiple MVP, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, and now the new ESPN documentary series, The Last Dance, is telling the story of his final season with the Bulls and how the team became one of the greatest dynasties in sports history, with never-before-seen footage. Michael Jordan, he is going to join us live exclusively in just a moment. There he is at home. But first, let's take a look back.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to Bulls basketball.
There was no basketball team more dominant in the 90s than the Chicago Bulls, led by the one and only Michael Jordan. Air Jordan, as he was called for his prolific dunking with his signature tongue-out celebration, along with teammates Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman, commanding the league for nearly a decade. The trio making the Bulls one of the greatest sports dynasties of all time and bringing home an unprecedented 6 NBA titles in 8 seasons.
Chicago Bulls have won the NBA championship.
Now, a look behind the curtain of the dramatic road to their final epic showdown. And joining us now live from his home is Michael Jordan himself. As my mama used to say, it's good to lay my eyes on you, actually, to see you again after all this time. First, tell us, how's the family doing? How are you and your loved ones with all that's going on around the world these days? How are you guys doing?
Well, we're blessed, obviously. We get a chance to spend a lot of time together, so I'm quarantined down here in Florida with my wife and my 2 kids, and stay in contact with my other 3 kids via the phone. But my family's doing well. Mom, brothers, sisters, everybody's doing well. So we're very blessed, especially with what's going on in the world. And look, our hearts and our prayers go out to all the tragedies and the families that are enduring this unbelievable tragedy that's happening to America and to the world.
To the world. And thank you for that. And it's something that people feel, and they're looking for a distraction, if you will. And it's great that this series has been moved up. It was supposed to debut later, but people were just clamoring for something to give them inspiration and hope. And this docuseries really does this. It chronicles that final championship run, that final time that together with the Bulls. Michael, what do you remember most about that final year?
Well, it was a trying year. We all were trying to enjoy that year, knowing that it was coming to an end. I was hoping that, the beginning of the season, it basically started when Jerry Krause told Phil that, he can go 82-0 and he would never get the chance to come back. And, knowing that I married myself to him, obviously, and if he wasn't going to be a coach, then, obviously I wasn't going to play. So Phil started off the year by saying this is the last dance, and we played it that way. So mentally it just it tugged at you throughout the course of the year, but that this had to come to an end. But it also centered our focus to making sure we end it right. So, as sad as it sounded at the beginning of the year, we tried to rejoice and enjoy the year and finish it off the right way.
And it was quite a year, and the docuseries really profiles that, and also goes back and sees we see a young Michael Jordan. I love seeing your mother and seeing her doing so well. And when you were at North Carolina, like a typical college kid, you wrote her a letter and you were apologizing for the phone bill and asking her to send stamps. What did you learn about yourself during those college years, Michael, that stayed with you?
Well, I think that, it's a little different today. Quite frankly, I had a phone bill that was probably $60 or a little less, and I only had $20 in my account. So, and the thing that, people are going to learn, and, my kids laugh about it when they see it, but we used postage stamps back in those days, where, I had to ask my mom to send me postage stamps. So, looking at the video, you're going to see a lot of things that people tend to forgot, that life was this way. We didn't have Instagram, we didn't have Twitter. So, you had to live life as it came, and each day you preciously protected it, and you learn the education aspect, spending time with friends and family. It wasn't via the phone. It was actually in presence, and you wrote letters. So I mean, to me, that's probably the most refreshing thing. That my mom, she kept all my letters. So I mean, it's somewhat embarrassing, but yet it's refreshing that I took the time to write a letter and say, how much I love my mom and what I needed in college.
Yeah, it was very sweet to hear her read one of your letters like that. And in college, of course, the buzzer beater, 82, winning the national title. You said in the documentary that was the moment that you went from Mike to Michael Jordan. What did you mean by that?
Well, up until that point, no one knew who I was. I was a college kid, other than the university. But outside the university, I was just known as Mike Jordan. And when I hit that shot, my whole name became Michael Jordan, and I think it resonated with a lot of people outside of UNC. So I mean, and I just started piling on that name itself from the successes that I endured, throughout the rest of my career. It wasn't about Michael. It wasn't about Mike. It was more about Michael. Yeah.
Yeah, it really was at that point, and people remember it so well, and they have that iconic shot of yours. We hear from your father as well, and boy, did he know his son. He said, if you want to get the best out of Michael Jordan, you tell him he can't do something. And we're going to show a clip that really personifies that, because it was your second year in the league, and you had an injury. You wanted to get back out on the court. Management had another idea about that. I want people to take a look. This is what happened.
Michael asked him, well, if I play, what percentage is there that I'm going to get hurt again? Doctor said, 10%.
And I just lost it. I said, look, it's 10% chance, but it's 90% chance that I won't.
And then I chimed in to the doctors, what happens if the 10% kicks in? And they said, well, then his career would be over.
Well, everybody's just thinking about the negative. Well, I think the glass is half full. Everybody thinks it's half empty.
So I said to Michael, you're not understanding the risk-reward ratio. If you had a terrible headache and I gave you a bottle of pills and 9 of the pills would cure you and 1 of the pills would kill you, would you take a pill?
And I look at him, I said, depends on how bad the headache is.
Okay, I gotta apologize to your mom that but we did bleep it out. But sorry that we used that particular clip. I know Dolores is going like, really, really. But where did that perseverance, that drive, come from, Michael? Where does it come from?
My parents. My father worked at General Electric for years. He was trying to provide for his family. We moved all over, southern North Carolina. My mom worked for a bank. She worked for Corning Glass. I mean, they were hardworking people. And they instilled that in not just me, but my brothers and sisters. So, I mean, and I just lived vicariously through them and lived and learned it from them. And, it just became a part of my nature, and I always look at a negative and turn it into a positive. Fortunately, things like that happens in our life. And as I try to teach my kids, just take that negative, learn from it, and turn it into a positive. And that all came from my parents.
Yeah, and you were keeping up with your brothers as well. We learned that in the docuseries that you were a tight-knit family, and they really, really, you guys pushed each other to be the very best, and that's certainly
I wouldn't be here.
I wouldn't be
here if it wasn't for my brother Larry. I mean, Larry pushed me, and we used to fight after every game, but through that fight, emerged someone like me, and he's right next to me. He supports me and he works with me in the team, and I would have never gotten this far without him.
Well, thank you. And thank you, Michael. I know you don't do this very often. It really means a lot to get up and to speak with us, and we really, really do appreciate it. And the series is just primo. I know that you're very proud of it. You take care, Michael.
Well, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, Robin. Thanks for having me.
You got it. Anytime. And The Last Dance debuts on ESPN in the U.S. this Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, and will be available outside of the U.S. on Netflix. And it's great to hear that all of Michael's proceeds will go to charity. That's MJ. Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.